What's going on, everybody? This is Beto bringing you another binge watching episode from Real Screeners. And this time around, unfortunately, Lenny cannot be with us. He is very busy at the moment, but he says, "What up?" And we have Troy Stegner, owner of Zia Comics and organizer of El Paso Comic Con, as our special guest today. Thank you, Troy, for being with us, or being here, I should say.
Oh, no, thanks for inviting me. Just tell Lenny we're changing it now. It's going to be Talk Real Screeners with Beto
Right?
and Troy. Yeah, we're kicking Lenny out.
Yes, he's gonna have to he's gonna have to return whenever he gets a chance. But for now, it's just Troy and Beto. So, Troy, how's it been? How's binge watching? What have you been up to as far as watching shows, movies, everything
Yeah,
and anything?
no new movies since what, like February timeframe was the last new movie that came out. So, we've watched everything out of Redbox, caught up on a lot of things on Netflix, but recently, the big thing is hit on Netflix was probably, or actually, I think it was on Amazon, The Boys streaming season 2.
Excellent. That's a good place to start.
Oh yeah, if you're not into gore and violence, you might want to watch something else because
You might want to skip that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This has it
Because
like
and
crazy.
and and it happens when you least expect it, right? You're like watching it, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden,
blam.
it's like something blows up and a lot of blood. Yeah, yeah. So, The Boys is an awesome show. I think that if you're a superhero fan, you can't turn your eyes away from it. It's just such a innovative idea for superheroes, you know. I'm really digging the second season personally. I think that it has a lot of cool things to say about like the way that America is and the world is as far as like capitalism and like corporate America and the way that the Seven and the Soups kind of fit into that. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, corporate America would monetize superheroes somehow. So, they're renting them out basically to cities, and now they're trying to rent them out to the military in season 2. Spoilers if you haven't seen the first episode, but it's been
Spoiler
out for a
alert.
month, so
Yeah, I don't.
I think a
Let's
month is
just
good. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just talk spoilers. I mean, we're here to have fun.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and I love Giancarlo Esposito. That guy, just an amazing actor. Everything he's in, and he plays the main suit so well.
yes, Homelander.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Well, Giancarlo Esposito is the main suit, but you're talking about the main superhero guy,
Oh,
Homelander.
Giancarlo Esposito plays.
He was Moff Gideon in Mandalorian. He was Gus Fring in Breaking Bad and Better
Oh,
Call
that's
Saul.
right. That's right. Okay. Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah, that guy, he's an amazing actor. Like I said, he's the one suit that kind of puts Homelander in check.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right. I think that the actor who plays Homelander is awesome, man. Like, talk about someone that's terrifying and just plays a crazy, basically psychopath, right? I mean, I'm really digging how the second season is really like delving a lot more into like the character's psychological, you know,
why they do
aspects,
things, yeah.
why they do things, and really getting into like their like sexual psychology and like their political psychology and some really interesting crazy things in there that really define that Homelander character, and then that newcomer Stormfront, um, I
Oops,
think
sorry
is
about that.
pretty cool. What's up?
Sorry about that background sound. My mouse over something on Netflix.
Oh, it's fine, no problem, no problem.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
the like you were saying, the you see a lot of Homelanders sexual mentality, proclivities, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
yeah.
the guy had a messed up upbringing, and it really impacted him as an adult.
Yeah, and you really understand, I guess, a lot of why he is the way that he is, and the way that he interacts with his own son, and that kind of dysfunctional, relationship. And well, I mean, his relationship is dysfunctional with everybody, I guess, but it's really cool. And I really like the actor that plays Huey, I think is his name, Huey.
Yeah,
I really think he's a good kind of like contrast to the
Butcher.
more villainous characters, Um, so, but yeah, I think that he adds good humanity to the show.
Yeah, well, like they said in the most recent episodes, he's Butcher's canary. I mean, he's the yin to the yang. Even on I guess they're anti-heroes. I don't know if I can call them heroes. Even on their side.
Yeah, Carl Urban playing Billy is also really good, and he's going in an interesting direction as well. I just think that all the characters are going in a very interesting direction. Even the guy who says the dolphins, what's his name?
The Deep,
Yeah, the Deep. Yeah.
the Aquaman ripoff.
The Aquaman ripoff. Yeah, delving into like his insecurities and stuff. No, I'm just really really enjoying it. Really worth a watch overall.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of blood and gore, but like you said, below that, if you look past that, there's a lot of psychological stuff um, underneath it all. So if you can get past the blood and gore, it's a really good story.
It is, yeah, and a refreshing take on again superheroes. So yeah.
So that was
Um,
one thing I've been watching. How about you?
okay. So I really am excited to bring up. So I didn't know about Cobra Kai until quite recently.
I think I told. Did
Um,
I tell you guys that it's worth the YouTube red to go watch Cobra Kai?
you might have mentioned it, but I guess it just didn't stick. And when I found out that it was on Netflix, I was like, oh man, I gotta check this out. As a Karate Kid fan and an overall like '80s movies fan, I thought, wow, this is a really cool idea. And so I binged the first and second season. I hadn't seen the first season, right? So I binged two seasons, and I think a span of like maybe 4 days.
I
Um,
think they're shorter episodes, but there's still quite a few of them.
yeah, and I hadn't binged watched a show like that in a long time, which I think speaks to how much I enjoyed it. Like I loved Cobra Kai.
It's
I really
heavy on
did.
nostalgia. It like you said with the '80s stuff. There's a lot of throwback references. Um, what I like about Cobra Kai is you kind of see uh, Daniel Larusso is not the goody goody. I mean, there's a lot of him being a protagonist on this stuff. So you could, depending on how you look at it, either one of them could be the good guy or the bad guy. Just tilting your vision a little bit, you'll see a different perspective on each one of
Yeah,
them.
what's his name? Johnny,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah. I love that about the show. How both characters kind of lie in this gray area, right? As far as like, I guess like their morality, their ethics, their beliefs, whatever. But totally, I like that about the show a lot. They both have clear flaws and heroic qualities to them. And you know what I really love about the show is the way that it kind of like combines like old values from the 80s, that are now considered like super politically incorrect, let's just say.
Yep.
And the way that it kind of, the conflicts are created between some of those older values and some of the newer values. But I dig that. I dig the back and forth between the two, and I think that makes the show really cool to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it instantly jumped into the top 10 on Netflix when they pulled it over, and because I don't know too many people who didn't like Karate Kid, and that coupled with the '80s nostalgia stuff is just it was a 1-2 punch for me. I loved Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I really really dug it. I really liked it a lot. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at my notes right here. I have some notes. I want to make sure that I've said. I think I said everything that I wanted to say.
About Cobra Kai.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they even brought back the old sensei. They brought back Kreese. So uh, it doesn't get much better than that. He was the big bad.
The big bad wolf
Yeah, in the
from
movies,
the
and
original.
now they brought him back. And well, at the end of season one, like I said, it's been out for a while, so we can talk about it. There was that big aha moment at the end of season one when Kreese comes to the dojo, and you learn that he's still around.
That he's still around, and then when he starts interacting with the Johnny character, you realize that Johnny definitely has more sense than he does.
Yeah,
Is more level-headed, I suppose, and so yeah, and I like the way that the show kind of like teeters between like the action and the karate and martial arts aspect, but also like the comedy and the just like the likability of the characters overall. And there's some romantic elements in there, and they're trying to introduce these new actors that do a pretty decent job too. So yeah,
and there's karate.
yeah. And there's karate. Exactly. So what else? What else? Speaking of which, I kind of want to bring this up very briefly because we're talking about karate. I also happened to catch the documentary about Bruce Lee. I don't know
I haven't
if
seen
you,
that yet.
yeah, I think it's called, God, I want to say it's called Be Water or Be Like Water. Unfortunately, I can't remember right now, but definitely worth a watch if you're into karate and Bruce Lee. I think that they really did a good job of humanizing Bruce Lee a lot and showing just like every aspect of his life, and not just the karate part, but his family part, and really nice like narration and like integration of like clips of scenes throughout throughout his life, and really cool.
Is that on Netflix also?
You know what? I think I rented it on YouTube actually.
Oh wow, yeah, I have to check it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
YouTube's getting heavy into the streaming now for movies and series.
they are. Yeah. So what else? What else have you been watching, Troy?
My guilty pleasure. I watched season 6 of Lucifer. I can't get enough of that show.
Wow, really? Okay, so
Yeah.
you're like the fourth or maybe fifth person that has recommended Lucifer recently.
Oh
I
really?
just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't seen a single season. I don't know, anything about it. So go ahead.
Have you read any Neil Gaiman stories? The writer Neil Gaiman.
It sounds familiar.
He's done. Well, like I say, he's done Lucifer. He's done a lot of Sand. He did Sandman. Not the Marvel Sandman, but his Sandman's based in DC. You
Okay.
probably know him from American Gods. He did American Gods, really good. Norse mythology. Uh, yeah,
Damn, no,
yeah.
I haven't seen any of that stuff.
His books are great, and so I thought I'd give Lucifer a shot, and it has not disappointed. The guy they cast to play Lucifer is perfect for that role. Uh,
Okay.
the devil with a British accent, very attractive, comely. He has that charisma that you see him on screen. You're like, oh man, this guy's pretty cool.
Right. So
And
he plays the part of like this,
of Lucifer, yeah.
of Lucifer, of like the charismatic like devil
Mm-hmm.
figure. Right.
Yeah, and the gist of the story is he got tired of ruling in hell, and he decided to take a vacation in Los Angeles. And he doesn't really want to go back to hell, so he's got a nightclub in L.A.
He needs a change. He needs a
Yeah,
change of pace.
yeah, pretty much. But
Okay.
I recommend it. Even right out of the gate, a lot of times people tell you, oh, you got to power through the first season, it gets good. This one from episode 1 was really pretty good. And if you like that, I recommend watching any of the other Neil Gaiman stuff. I think American Gods came out on Stars. They were doing it. but
Okay.
I suggest doing the book first or the audio book.
Gotcha.
So yeah, season 6, Lucifer. If you haven't watched it yet, you got 6 seasons you can binge right there.
Wow. Okay. I need to check that out then. One of the things that I've been told about the show is that, and maybe you can kind of confirm or elaborate, is that they sort of humanize Lucifer. Like he's not necessarily like, all evil, but there's like
Yeah,
multi-dimensional sides to him, I guess, or
yeah. And he's not the only celestial. You'll see there's demons and angels that cross his path, and a lot of the names you'll probably know if you've got any religious background whatsoever. It's I love mythology and religious mythology type stuff like that. So this played right into my ballpark. You're going to see it, like you said, it kind of humanizes him. He's got daddy issues,
okay,
so
okay. So
it's
he has
him.
like human flaws, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's trying to resolve his daddy issues, and all the other angels are basically his brother. So whenever he sees him, they call each other brother, and they all
Awesome.
have some kind of issue, just like humans. They're not above being frail about certain issues.
Very cool. Very cool. I've definitely got to check that out. Um, okay. Cool. Okay, so I will go next. I've actually been watching a lot of stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie. I somehow managed to fit it in, even though doing like I don't know 50 other things at the same time. But I actually had a chance to check out Ratched. Um,
Right.
so the reason I really wanted to watch Ratched is because I am a huge fan of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and it's also a great novel by Ken Kesey. And I was hoping that I would get something more about the Nurse Ratched character, which was played, brilliantly by Louise Fletcher in the original film. And Sarah Paulson, who plays her in this series, is pretty good. She's a pretty good actress.
Hmm.
Um, and it, the my overall feelings about it, I don't know if you've seen it.
Not yet.
Okay, it's on your to watch list.
It's on my maybe watch list. So yeah,
It's
you can
on
go
your
ahead and spoil
maybe.
it for me. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so basically, Ryan Murphy, who is the creator of the show, he basically made another season of American Horror Story, and I didn't think that the style and the feel and the atmosphere really fit the Cuckoo's Nest kind of background story on Nurse Ratched that I was hoping for, or that I was looking for. And so it ended up being really flashy and colorful, and like the acting was super over the top, and I was disappointed overall,
Mm.
honestly. I honestly, you probably won't watch it now.
Like I said,
But
it's pretty far down my must-watch list. I got a lot of other stuff ahead of it. So
ahead of it, yeah, yeah. And so, if anything, I'm just happy that it's giving Cuckoo's Nest some exposure, because now it's like one of the most viewed movies on Netflix. I noticed it was like top 10 movies on Netflix right now is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I'm glad that it's giving the movie kind of like a reawakening. But overall, I was disappointed, and I just wish that it had, you know, related a little bit more to the feel of the film, or maybe even Ken Kesey's novel a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, like you said, it sounds like it was a not a bad movie, but not what you were looking for in Nurse Ratched. You go in expecting her to be a certain way, and the movie to kind of follow that vein. And uh, if it's like you said, like just another American Horror Story, I think I might skip it. Or
It really did feel like that. It really just felt like another kind of like homage to like, scary movies, and like, a lot of blood, a lot of slashing, a lot of psychological horror. And guts and serial killers and, you know, stuff like that, basically. So nothing new. And so I say skip it.
Yeah, that'll be one of those, if I've watched everything else type of shows, it sounds like.
You'll visit it. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, it wasn't high on my list anyway, so I'm glad I'm finding out now I'm not really missing anything.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So
does that
what
make it my
else?
turn again?
Yeah, if you want to. I have a couple of other things.
Well, you go ahead because I'm still looking through a list.
Oh, okay. So have you seen the Netflix movie The Devil All the Time?
That's the one with Tom Holland, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty high on my list. I do want to see that one.
So I actually saw that at the Alamo Draft House, which it opened about maybe a week before it was released on Netflix. And it is honestly very unpleasant to watch.
Unpleasant in a good way, or
Unpleasant in a good way, definitely. Like, it's just the subject matter is very uh, uh, grueling and intense, and it really is about the darkest side of humanity, and it's basically about religious extremism.
yeah,
And it's basically about us, like small town living in the South, in the backwoods, you know, and how people are like, you know, kind of like super avid churchgoers, and then they do all this horrible stuff on the side, and then they justify it because it's God's intention and crazy stuff like that. And you know, I think that Tom Holland did an excellent job in the movie, and I think also what's his name? Uh, he was in Twilight, and he is in the Batman. And
oh, you're making
uh,
me draw a blank. Yeah, it was Oliver Wood.
God, God, how can I forget his? Oh, Robert Pattinson.
God, yeah, yeah, you made me draw a blank too.
He played like a crazy preacher, and then the actor who plays uh, Dudley in the Harry Potter movies, who's kind of making a comeback also. I forget his name. He also plays a crazy preacher in the movie. And those performances really stood out to me. And I think that the movie has some very interesting ideas, and it's kind of a slow burn. So overall, I had like mixed feelings about it, but definitely I think it's worth a watch, you know? But just get ready for some like, you know, some in your face
Like
humans
red
just,
state, religious, in your face type stuff.
yeah, just humans doing horrible things, man. Like you know what it kind of made me think of at times was True Detective on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like just a
Wow.
dark side of humanity, man. Yeah.
Okay, well, when you said earlier you watched it a month before it came out on Netflix, it made me wonder, what do you think about the future of movies coming out and how soon they're going to hit streaming services? Because during the shutdown, I mean, you saw movies like the Troll movie made buku bucks. I think Scooby Doo movie, that one made a ton of money, and there was actually a little bit of friction between studios and theaters about that because they were afraid that a lot of the movies going to be released straight to streaming and skip the theater. So, I mean, what's your feelings on that? Would you rather it come out streaming first in theater first, and then how long to wait for streaming? Because this is
I
probably
think
all going to change post COVID.
it is, and I'm kind of concerned and a little worried as an avid moviegoer. Well, I think we've talked about this before a little bit. You know, I really love going to the cinemas. I love going to the movies. I mean, I don't mind watching movies at home for sure. But I think that ultimately people are just not going to the movies. They're not, you know, people are scared and concerned, and rightfully so, and they're not going to the movies. And I think that Theaters might be in danger a little bit.
Do you think they're
I
going to
do.
come back after this, or do you think this is the switch that is going to push towards streaming?
It's like one of those things where it's like I don't know what's going to happen, because you don't know what's going to happen with COVID. I think that theaters are in danger. I really do. I am concerned about that. And they keep postponing like Wonder Woman or not Wonder Woman, but maybe the other one, Black Widow.
Black Widow, yeah. I think I saw like spring 21 is what they're looking at now for those to start coming out.
Yeah, it's insane. And I saw Tenet at the Alamo Draft House recently, and I kept thinking to myself like this really watching this at home would not do it as much justice. It's I think that those big special effects movies really belong in the theater. Um, I did happen to catch Mulan on Disney Plus, and I didn't care too much for it, but then again, I don't care too much for any of the live action Disney remakes. And I don't know. I think that something does get lost with those big special effects or big action adventure films at home. How do you feel about it?
I think it's. I think this is a portend or whatever. I think a lot of it's going to go to streaming now, just because it's going to be easier distribution for the movie people. It's proven to make a ton of money. I think theaters won't go away, but I think you're going to see a lot of them close the doors, and only bigger cities will have a movie theater that plays first run type movies. It's just the ease of streaming. I mean, you've seen that with a lot of things, but the diehards are still going to go to see the big production stuff that with the big explosions and graphics and stuff. But for the most part, I think streaming is going to take a big bite out of theaters.
I think so too. I think so too. But are you okay with that? Is that the is that's the ultimate question? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Yeah, I'm fine with sitting at home in my underwear on the couch, being able to pause and go to the bathroom or run to
Just
the fridge.
chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am not. Certain movies are better on the big screen, but it doesn't bother me to watch them at home.
Hmm.
I have a nice TV and a nice sound system, so I'm happy with that, and it wouldn't
Yeah,
bother
that's
me.
hard. Yeah, I can understand how that's hard to beat for sure. Yeah. But it still bums me out a little bit, the idea that movie theaters might close or
Yeah,
eventually.
if I learned how to make movie house popcorn, I would probably never leave the house.
Okay. Yeah, the popcorn is definitely something to be missed for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Especially that
yeah.
truffle popcorn at Alamo.
Oh, you dig that? The
Oh,
truffle
I love
popcorn?
that. Yeah.
It has good flavor. Yeah, yeah. Jalapeno and jalapenos and butter is
Oh yeah.
also a good option. But yeah,
You said you watched Tenet. So how
I
was it?
did. It's very Christopher Nolan. If you have seen Inception and you've seen Dunkirk, you know that he likes to mess around with the idea of like time and past, present, and future, and there are definitely some time warping elements. I don't even want to call it time travel. It's interesting, I think that the concept is interesting, but definitely a movie that I'd want to see again to fully understand. Um, I think that there might have been a little bit of trouble with like the sound mixing in the movie, honestly, because I keep hearing from people that have seen it that they've had issues understanding like the actual dialogue, that it gets like really overshadowed by the sound effects and the music, and the music, man, is like super pulsating and you can feel it. And again, just as far as an action film, it's awesome, it's beautiful, it's almost flawless in that regard. But I gotta be honest, there are some things I didn't quite understand. And I compared it to Inception. When I first saw Inception, there were a few things that I didn't get, but then I saw it a second time, it was easily digestible. But I think that this movie is going to be harder to grasp for sure.
I've heard a lot of people compare it to Inception, with the time bending type stuff you were talking about. I'm interested in it because I like the main actor. Was it Denzel Washington's son? I can't remember his name now. From Black Klansman.
Man. John David Washington.
Yeah. He's starting to really
Take
gain a lot of
off.
ground in my mind. Yeah, I've liked a lot of stuff he's in. Have you watched Ballers on? Oh, I can't remember which cable channel it was. The one with The Rock and Rob Corddry. He's in it, where they're sports agents.
Oh no, I've heard of it, but no, I have not seen it.
Well, that's another good one you can binge. Yeah, he's in there and he plays one of the athletes, and he does really well in it. He holds his ground against all those big names like The Rock and. Well, I don't know if Rob Corddry is really a big name, but yeah, that John David Washington is. I think he's one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. From the couple of movies I've seen with him, I definitely agree that he's an up and comer to admire, definitely, and he does a great job in this movie. And ironically, his character is just not someone that's very relatable. I don't want to say too much about it because I think it's one of those movies that people should definitely go into not knowing much, but it definitely leaves you disconnected a little bit from the characters. It's definitely a action film and not an interesting character film. And I think that Inception got that a little bit better, or a lot better, actually. But I've got to see it again, I think.
Yeah, I need to see it. I'm just waiting for it to come out on Redbox or streaming.
Sure. Yeah.
What else you got on your list?
Okay, so I have one more on my list. I'm still currently watching this show that was recommended to me. I'm on the 4th episode. It's on HBO Max. It's a documentary, and it's called The Vow. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I enjoy a good documentary if it's something that can hold my interest, but if it's something that's kind of like what's a nicer way of saying a mind fuck, because I don't think I can say mind fuck on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it just messes with your head.
Yeah, like if it's a show that messes with your head, that really presents some really crazy ideas that make you think, I'll give it a try. So the main premise of The Vow is it's basically a documentary about a cult that recruits people with the kind of promise that they're gonna basically find their path in life, and they're going to experience or they're going to be able to expand on the human experience and really grow as a person and meet new people and all good and great stuff, and the first episode kind of presents this cult as kind of like this ideal organization where you feel like you belong, and you meet new people, and they have different workshops, and you can pick different workshops, and it feels kind of like like any cult, like any religious or philosophical organization that you can belong to and become a member of. And then it takes a left turn when you begin to find out that underneath is basically human trafficking and a weird sex cult happening, and it gets crazy, man.
And this is a documentary, so it's real.
It's real. It's kind of like Tiger King on Netflix, or like, or the other crazy one, don't f with cats. You know?
On the internet, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it is insane. It is insane how people just kind of like are susceptible to like manipulation, and how people manipulate other people, and it's all due to this sociopath, this guy who kind of runs the show, and just tricks people, man, into doing terrible, crazy things. And the fact that it really happened is just mind-blowing.
Wow.
But I'm still in the middle of it, so I don't know how much more insane it's going to get, but so far it's pretty out there.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
that's
so give it a watch. I highly recommend it. Give it a watch.
The Vow. It's on HBO Max, so I might have to wait until I can borrow somebody's login and stream it.
Yeah. There's actually some other pretty good shows I've heard about on there that I
Yeah,
haven't
they're
seen
picking
yet.
up a lot of stuff. I'm waiting for HBO, for Warner to pull them and DC Universe all up under one platform. That would be nice.
That would be nice. Yeah, that definitely be more affordable, I suppose.
Yeah, because the DC Universe they have a couple of good shows on there with the Titans and Doom Patrol. I watched the second season of Doom Patrol recently, and
It's on HBO?
no, it's on DCU.
It's on
DC,
DCU.
yeah, the DC streaming
Okay.
service. And
Okay.
the one that surprised me was the Harley Quinn cartoon that they put on there with Kaylee Cuoco's voicing Harley Quinn. And I was like, I'm not sure, but it's a different take on all those DC characters. They kind of make them funny. Like
Okay.
Clayface he's a failed aspiring actor, and
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you just have to watch. It's really it's adult. Don't let your kids watch Harley Quinn's cartoon on DCU.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's really surprisingly, it's really good.
And the show is called
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. And the
yeah.
one that you were talking about before that, it was called Dune. What
Doom,
did you say?
Doom Patrol.
Doom. Oh, Doom Patrol. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and in fact, well, the guy Umbrella Academy season 2, we didn't even talk about that. But Gerard Way, who wrote most of Umbrella Academy, also wrote Doom Patrol for the most recent runs. So it's the same kind of thing, except Doom Patrol is kind of like your C-list heroes. And
Okay.
yeah, they're getting in all kinds of weird. And Alan Tudyk's through the whole season, season 1. It's like you said, if you like stuff that kind of messes with your head, the villains they fight are not your run-of-the-mill guys. They're real mental type people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the characters is an actual physical street. They like a street that can teleport.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and people
Interesting.
who are trying to hide, they live on that street, and he can teleport them when he leaves. So yeah, Doom
Okay.
Patrol's good. Titans is good on DCU. Those 3 shows alone are worth the price of DCU.
Of DCU?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Plus, you get access to all the DC comic books from 6 months old and older. So you can go back and read the first appearance of Batman if you want it digitally.
And how much is their monthly membership?
I can't
Do you
remember. I
know?
paid for a year, so it's either 9 or 12, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Wow.
About
Okay.
the
I
same as
haven't.
most, or maybe it's $7.99 if you paid for the year. But it's worth it. Those shows, if you're into DC heroes, those shows
Check it
alone are
out.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many streaming platforms now. It's like it's getting crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a la carte, and there won't be any cable. It's just going to be you pick which
Pick and
streaming.
choose.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty
yeah. I'm
much
tapped
all I
out.
had.
That
Yeah.
was my last one.
I'm like, we've talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And if you get a chance, like I told you guys before, go back and watch Star Wars Clone Wars and Rebels. If you like Star Wars at all, they fill in a lot of the missing holes in the movies.
In the movies, yeah. It's again like something that I want to watch, and I just need to prioritize it. At the end of the day, there's so many things, but yeah, it's on the back of my mind.
There's a lot of seasons of those, so it'll take a while to catch up.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. All right, thanks for watching this episode of Binge Watching. Once again, leave your comments down below. If you've also been binge watching something, let us know. And if you have any recommendations for us, or let us know what you think about our opinions of the different movies and shows we talked about. And don't forget to look us up on social media. We're at Facebook, Real Screeners, and Instagram, real.screeners. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications and bell button if you enjoy our channel. And as always, stay tuned for some more real takes on movies and TV shows under the circumstances with quarantine.
We are Lenny.
We are. Where is Lenny?
Lenny is always with us.
Yeah. He's present. He's here in spirit.
In our heart. Cool. All right, man.
Get nerdy with me. Tell me what game that you get on. Is it card or read? What kind of class do you play, girl? In an RPG.